In this Sailing Doodles podcast, I talked to Carlos Ponce. He's the Sales and Customer Service Manager for the Puerto Del Rey Marina in Fajardo, Puerto Rico. Welcome to the Sailing Doodles podcast, where we talk to all sorts of people in the sailing and boating community. It's available wherever you get your audio podcasts and on YouTube. If you'd like to support the show, you can go to patreon.com/sailingdoodles. All right, and welcome, Carlos.
Salute, sir.
Good to see you again. So,
Thanks for having me.
When was the last time we had in Annapolis? Well, no, did I see you last year?
Well, it was Annapolis. Yes, it was Annapolis. Mm-hmm. We were at the boat show. That we had that king tide.
Right. Oh, yeah, that was crazy.
It was really bad. Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool. Well, cheers. Good to see you. Thanks for coming by. So, my first question for you about Puerto Rico is, why do they have 10-ounce beers? Why? I mean, it doesn't fit any koozie. It's just like all the beers are 10 ounces.
I don't know. I think we drink fast and we don't want them to get hot or something.
Okay, is that what it is? Okay. All right. So, how long have you been working here at Puerto Del Rey Marina?
I've been here since November 2016.
Okay.
Yeah, I used to work for the hotel industry, and I don't know, man. I got called in. I was iffy about. I didn't know anything about boats.
Yeah.
So. But service is service, you know?
Yeah.
Everywhere you go.
Customer service, yeah. So, I mean, y'all are the biggest, over 1,000 slips? Is that what it is?
967 to be exact.
967, okay.
And we got the dry stack and all of that tied down and all that.
Were you big into boating or anything like that beforehand, or was it just customer service?
Just the usual videos and whatnot, looking at mega yachts and saying, one of these days, probably I'll get one of those, but nothing major.
Do you have your own boat?
I don't.
You have plans to get your own boat?
Maybe.
Okay, what are you looking at?
Maybe a 24.
Like a center console or something?
Definitely. Yeah.
Well, it seems like in Puerto Rico, it's everybody's more like motor yacht, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's the rough seas sometime.
Yeah.
And I think they want to be more comfortable and get there fast and come back. Mm-hmm. So even though we had 967 on the wet slips, which were full, but the dry stack moves quite a lot more.
Okay, so explain the dry stack. So most people are familiar with marinas. You basically keep your boat in the water at a slip.
Right.
And you got the dry stack. How many dry stacks do you have?
Well, racks 450, but overall with the wash racks and all of those big boats on the first floor, about 640.
And how big a boat can you put on there?
We're all the way up to 44.
Really,
probably.
44?
Yeah.
Wow, like center console type, or are we talking like motor yacht type? Like,
no, center console.
Center console.
MTIs, Boston Whalers, and those sailfish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what? So the advantage of that is because keeping your boat in the water keeping it in salt water.
More costly.
Yeah, it's more costly. Plus, it's more wear and tear on the boat,
sir.
right?
Yep.
And if you only use your boat, how often do your dry stack customers use their boats?
Every weekend.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's summer, 12 months a year. Okay. So they go out. I mean, with all this COVID thing and all that, they had them up there for quite a long time, and then flushing the engines and all that came an issue because you just can't move your boat. Mm-hmm. But every weekend. I mean, we drop about 220 boats each weekend.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's half of them then, or more, almost half. And that's so it's cheaper to keep it on a dry stack, right? Because you're not paying for the wet slip. And then, how do they get it? Is the put in and out included, or is that extra?
Yeah, it's included.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So just unlimited, whatever. Wow.
In and out. We just got an app that makes it a lot easier. So you from home.
Really? So you just
request your boat and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, you're like, all right, you know what? Hey, let's go. It's 10 o'clock. I want to go fishing or whatever, and then you just put it on the app, and by the time you get to the boatyard, it's sitting there ready to go.
Yes, sir.
Wow, that's pretty cool. That's a good idea. There's an app for everything now, I guess.
Yes.
All right. Well, that's cool, man. So what? And so it is significant. I mean, I've seen them like all day long. I see those. So it's just is it a big forklift or what is it? They got these two big giant like forklift fingers that go and pick them up.
Yeah, we have one, I think that we call it the transformer.
Okay.
It's a really old one, but it's really tough. And that one picks up the little inflatables and 20-somethings, and then the 230 switches over to 30-somethings, but like around 35. Then the 320, and then the two new big guys that we purchased to pick up the 42s and the 43s because the center of gravity.
Heavy boat, yeah. Well, I mean, because I see them. I mean, I guess you got some professional drivers there because I see. I mean, those things are like, what? I mean, there's like 4 stacks.
They
like
can put it on top of the penny.
Really?
I just get amazed every time I see it. It's like, man, that's a big move.
All right. Does it ever happen? Are there ever any problems? Like,
Well, it's part of the operation.
Yeah.
You're close to it, or you bump into it, but it's never a big issue.
So it's not like it might be like an airplane talk. We used to call it hangar rash, right? You're going in and out of the hangar. I mean, it's going to happen. I mean, you're going to rub something or whatever.
It's like rubbing the pillar, and then there's dust, metal dust that falls, and then if it rains, then you got like little tiny spots on your boat.
Okay.
But in order to not break your boat, the boat above you, we just need to go that close to the beam. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's cool. So you also do and then like storage on the hard. How many? I mean, you got how many acres or whatever you got of that?
It's 10, 22, and then 15. It's 37.
37 acres.
Yeah.
Wow. And so, what kind of boats can you accommodate pulling out on the hard?
Motor yachts, sailboats, catamarans.
Like, I mean, is there like
100 and something?
100, really 100 feet?
Yeah. Our travel lift is 150.
150 tons.
Tons. Yeah. But then the turn is quite tight, so we just, even though if it doesn't weigh 150 tons, then you gotta watch that turn.
So about 100 feet, you said then?
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty big.
105, 108.
And I actually just made a reservation with you guys I need to actually send you the paperwork, but anyway, I appreciate it. Yeah, thanks.
You'll get to it.
All right, thanks. But so reservation for hurricane season. So when is the official hurricane season? I mean, like it depends on insurance, right? June or July?
We call it June until the end of November.
Okay.
Then September, October. That's when we got to watch out. That's
the big months. Well, that's kind of what I was planning on doing. Is maybe go in August 1st. If something happens, before then, then I can either run from it, or if there's time, you guys can pull me out and put it, whatever. So that's kind of what my plan is to that. And so, like most insurance companies, accept that. Yeah,
and then ours in the Caribbean, ours is the only one that has 3 feet of concrete.
Okay. What do you mean 3 feet of concrete?
There's instead of sand screws.
Okay.
You got 3 feet of concrete.
Blocks.
No, it's like a beam.
Oh wow.
Under all the dirt.
Okay.
And then steel anchorage.
Okay.
So when you strap to it, 10,000 ton straps. You secure your boat. So it's not, even if it shifts, it's not gonna come out of the like sand screws.
Right. So you still got. Yeah. So you still got like it sits on those what do you call those
cradles
cradles
like jack stands.
Jack stands, yes, jack stands. So it still sits on the jack stands, and then you get the hurricane straps, and then that is basically what go to your to your cleats on the boat, and then
cleats on the boats, and then the steel anchorage on the bottom.
So there's no. I guess so. The boat's not going to move then.
Nope.
All right, and then so then you just got to what? Like make sure anything that can blow away on the boat is kind of secured.
Just take your dinghy off and remove any furlings or whatever you have, or from the top to avoid any flyaways.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's cool. And that's but you said most insurance is good with that.
Yep. Most insurance, and then some of them they'll give you a discount.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Okay. It's not sand screw like I mentioned. It's concrete, so it's even better.
Yeah, well, I know my insurance company is definitely. I checked. That's one thing I checked beforehand because I hadn't really. I had kind of been going back and forth on where I wanted to go for hurricane season. Initially, because I bought the boat, it was in Ponce, which is on the south coast towards the west side. I mean, just for the listeners, I know you know where it is. I mean, but like, so what? I mean, but I was planning on leaving it there, but I mean, because I mean, it's not expensive here, but there was like super cheap. Right?
I know.
Yeah, I mean, just like. I was like, wow.
It was like $300.
I was like $400 a month. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
That's for a year-long thing, but
Right.
But yeah, and then I was, but there's only, I mean, I don't know. There's just not a whole lot else around there. I mean, there are some good places to go cruising around there, but like the town itself.
La Paguera and all that.
Yeah, La Paguera's nice, and then But I figured I'd want to be on the East Coast instead because from here it's 2 hours to Culebra, USVI, BVI is all real close. So even if like June and July, which is technically hurricane season, if I want to go for a weekend, I can still do that and get back if a hurricane comes or whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't know. So I mean, it was, and then I don't know. So I mean, like, so why is it? Okay, so for people listening, why Puerto Del Rey as opposed to anybody else on the East Coast? I mean, on the East Coast, yeah.
Well, for once, it's a space.
Okay.
And then concrete ducts.
Okay.
Plenty of services. It's just a one-stop shop. I know you got your anchor here.
Yeah.
And then some other items. So we got marine shop.
Right.
We have about 13 contractors in the boatyard. So you get fiberglass bottom paint.
Right, I just had the guys came out today and replaced the fuel pump on my generator and did that stuff. So yeah.
So you don't need to move the boat around to get things done. You can bring the people in.
Yeah.
And that's it from over there.
Yeah.
About a mile down.
Yeah, well, and it's, you're not. It's like a less than an hour drive to San Juan, and I mean, there's a West Marine in Fajardo,
and there's a Ceiba airport.
Oh, there is. Yeah. Okay.
Smaller airplanes. You still need to check in, through San Juan, but then you can land here.
So how's things been like? I mean, okay, so I was here. I mean, I had just got here last year when I was
March.
here. March.
You got in it.
Yeah.
You actually were here when it hit.
Yeah. And then we got here. I was here for like a day or two, and then COVID locked down and
entirely,
including
without notice.
It was just like, okay, what do we do now? So we ended up leaving and going to the USVI. But I mean, how has COVID affected? I mean, you said before we started recording, you said that y'all are like really busy. Are you busier than normal or what?
Well, we were busy. The thing is that transient business stopped.
Yeah.
Suddenly, and then no fuel.
Right.
Running.
Well, because you didn't even allow recreational boating for a long time.
Right. So we were getting ready for a boat show, which you had a chance to 2017, was it?
Yeah, I believe so.
2017, you were here. We had to cancel it right on the spot. It was already done.
Right. And I was already set up.
It
was supposed to be like
and everything.
That weekend, I think, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So the day before, we were sitting down and trying to make a decision. Are we going to let it go? Like, now that we can unpack and get everything done, or are we gonna stay? And then the governor spoke and
shut it down.
Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, like, how was it? I mean, so there was no recreational boating at all for basically until what, like November, December?
Yeah. May they opened for May for fishing.
Okay, right. Okay, I heard that. So like you could go out and fish, but you couldn't go. So like a lot of people were just putting a fishing pole in the back of their boat and be like, "Yeah, I'm fishing."
Correct. So they wanted to keep the business, the fishermen,
right?
Providing for the family, so they allowed fishermen to go out.
Like just commercial or
commercial.
So they weren't allowing
no competition or anything, no recreation at all.
Okay.
But then after that, we opened up for little by little to recreational fishing and then recreational boating. And then we were seeing a lot of new fishermen around.
Right. Yeah, a lot of new fish. A lot more people that were. I mean, like, I'm not a big fisherman, but I'm sure
cods.
Yeah.
Cold.
Yeah. Just go buy some fish at the market.
Right.
And then store it on the boat. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. So what? Like how has it been? I mean, like, transient boater wise, I mean, because this is one of the last stops for people before they head off to the islands. So I think, every time I've sailed down through here, that's what I did. I planned to come here, reprovision here, get
it's a gateway.
Yeah, exactly. Get any supplies or boat parts I needed before heading to the islands. And obviously that happened some last year, but is it happening this year? Are you seeing much of that?
I'm seeing a lot of last minute, like they didn't know we were back in business or reopened for transient vessels. Because first it was like if you're in distress, an emergency, a boat broke down, a sail broke down, and then you could come in and fix that, and then you're on your way or get medical attention or whatnot.
Right.
And then that passed, it's no longer needed. You just need to make a reservation in advance with the marina, and then you can come in. I mean, pop-ups are weird, and sometimes they go through a lot, because they're just wondering where you came from, but that's about it. And still some doubts with a lot of boaters, like, can we come in? Is it open? Can I do this?
People are like that now.
Still some doubts.
Now, do you still need a reservation in advance, or you kind of need to because you're full,
right? But it's more like the doubt that if do I have to announce myself coming in and then get tested? We had a lab that came to the boat.
Okay.
And then we'll test you and get you the results. So,
really? So
in about 2 hours.
Okay. So
and then you could get out of the boat. But
that's cool.
Those quarantines and 14-day quarantine inside when you've been sailing for 2 weeks.
Yeah. Well, so they weren't giving credit for like time at sea. Like, okay, I left Annapolis 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago, and I sailed straight here. I mean, they weren't giving you credit as quarantine on that?
No.
Wow. Okay.
No. And sometimes those sailors were quarantined already.
Yeah.
You don't need to do any more quarantine, but CDC and all that, and they weren't sure, and they don't know too much about people who live on their boat.
Yeah. Well, I think that was part of the problem when everything first locked down. They made it as what do they call it? Essential services businesses only.
Yeah.
And they didn't consider marinas an essential service because they kind of have the, I don't know, like the maybe the Puerto Rican mindset where it's a power boat, you're just going out to party on the weekend.
Yeah.
And they don't realize that a lot of cruisers live full time on the boat.
It took a lot of efforts.
Yeah.
I think, with Diana Margarita and Jose back in Marina Pescaderia,
right.
We got together, we made a letter to the government because there's maintenance, there's people who live on their boats, and hurricane season was coming.
Right.
You need to get those boats out of the water,
right.
or you're going to have a soup of boats.
Oh, man, I didn't even think about that. So, come June, because it happened in March, so you got April, May.
Right.
And then June,
so they're just roaming around in the islands, and they need to get out somewhere, because if not, you're endangering their life and their property as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, that was part of the problem. I mean, so when I was in the USVI, we did a big flotilla back at the end of May. It was 120-something boats.
Jeez, man.
Left at the same. Then there was others. There was and then the weeks before there was all going too. But a lot of those boats weren't really set up to do a long passage like that, and so you're kind of putting people in danger. Like, if they had no other option though at that point, it was okay, because a lot of people had planned on either going to Grenada or even Puerto Rico or something, but everything was still closed, and it was just where do these people go? And so a lot of people on these boats that weren't really set up for sailing 1,200, 1,500 miles did it anyway.
And provisioning, fueling, water, and all that. I mean, that's it.
Well, luckily the Bahamas was they were. So the Salty Dog, saltydogsailing.org, I believe, they kind of coordinated with the Bahamas and let them understand that, hey, a lot of these boats don't have the legs to go 10, 12 days. So they actually did permit yachts to stop in the Bahamas. We weren't allowed to go to shore, but you could stop and anchor, and then you could go to the fuel dock and get fuel. So it was kind of nice.
And I think you were planning on coming to Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
And then that window opened, and that's when you went up with them.
Yeah, okay. I mean, because I was emailing back and forth with you. We were thinking, and same with my friend Steve and Loretta. And I think because you said that you thought that by June you were going to be able to do all this stuff.
Yeah,
right?
the tricky thing is that we were stuck hauling out boats, so they were already boats in schedule. So we were saying, Bobby, we can't haul you out, so we're going to move you to May.
Yeah.
Then we're going to move you to June.
And then you're backlogged.
And then,
Okay.
So we weren't sure when this is going to end and where we're going to get full.
So So your storage on the hurricane tie downs, do you guys fill up that every year, or is that? Oh, really?
Yeah, completely.
Oh, wow.
100%.
So how long in advance do people need to make reservations?
Right now, February, March, because we got 2 fleets from the USVI that come in, and they're about 40. Well, 2 of them together.
Right.
About 50 boats.
Okay.
At the same time, all mostly cats.
Okay, yeah, and I guess cats. Do they require a different tie down type or no?
It's the same. It's just the machinery. I mean, a narrow boat, wider boat, you use the bigger machine, so it takes a little bit more space when you kind of bring in the big machine.
Sure,
you got to have that space in there.
So how is it? Do you guys charge differently? Because a lot of places I've heard for catamarans they'll charge 1.5 times, right? Because you're limited.
Well, it's just in the blocking and the jack stands.
Okay.
Because you got to do 2 hauls.
Well, I'm just talking even for general slips, right? Because a cat, because these docks, what is the average width up here on the 14, right? It's
are 22.
22
in here.
So that limits a lot of cats can't. They either got to be
30, a 33 maybe to fit in here.
A cat size lengthwise, yeah. Because I think a 40 is around 23 feet wide, something like that. And then you get 45, they're about 24 feet.
Yeah, we took advantage of Maria, and all the pilings that went down.
Oh, really?
We just yank them out.
Okay.
Catamaran slips.
Oh, okay. So yeah. So now, do you charge for those slips? Do you charge maybe
it's a half, 1.5? Yeah.
Okay.
Give or take. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I gotta say, so when I was pulling in here, this the second time I ever docked this boat was coming in here, and thankfully, you have the trade winds, and they pretty much flow straight down the dock, and so that made it a little easier. But your guy that was helping me with the slip, like with the lines, man, that guy was like, all right, give port side, starboard side. He was like, because I'm back there working the engine. He knew what he was doing, man. He really hooked me up.
Some of them have been here for 25 years.
Oh, really?
So they
know
just
exactly.
Know.
Yeah, because I was coming in on one angle of the wind. He's like, no, come on the other end. I'm like, okay, just did what he said, man. It worked. So, although I have been here, I don't want to say any names of boats. I have seen a boat, but I was like, oh man, like well, I don't want to say who.
No, not the name, but is it here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was just like, man, you'll hit that piling really hard. And I was like,
sometimes the width is 22,
right?
But when you come and measure it, that one is 25 because that guy's been
banging on
it for
that,
years.
That piling, yeah. Yeah, I hear you. You got to think about that. Yeah. So, yeah, but I love it down here, Puerto Rico, and that's actually I'm actually making. I don't know if I told you I'm going to move my residence here to Puerto Rico.
Oh, you are.
Yeah.
Nice to hear.
Yeah. So I'm kind of what I'm thinking about doing is keep my boat here. Mm-hmm. During hurricane season,
right.
Anyway, and then probably get a place in San Juan or somewhere like that for the 3 or 4 months. That is because man, the taxes here you can't beat it.
It's bad.
Yeah.
Well, it's bad,
but it's good for
yeah.
What do you mean it's bad? It's bad, but
11.5.
Oh well, no, but I'm saying like the corporate. Corporate tax rate here if you move here.
Good. Yeah.
It's like 4%. I mean, your what sales tax is high, right?
11.5.
11.5.
It was 7 about 10 years ago.
Really?
Give or take.
But I mean, you more than make up for that in income tax. Well, corporate tax.
Yeah.
So if I actually technically move sailing doodles here, then that's going to save me a ton of money and all that. So definitely going to take advantage of that. So
yes, sir.
Cheers to that. Cheers to that. So yeah.
You just saved a bunch of money by moving to Puerto Rico.
Yeah. So are they going to have the boat show this year? You think? I mean, not now. Normally they have it in March.
Where our we want to have the Billfish tournament. That's what we want. Yeah, it's in October.
Okay.
But still, we still got that issue of competition and all that.
I would hope. I mean, the Billfish in October. I would think that would happen. I don't know. I mean, because
we're just praying this thing goes away and there's a lot more flexibility from the government, and then we can. I mean, obviously keeping everybody safe,
right?
Because we are in it for the long run with the COVID thing,
right?
Yeah. With vaccine coming in, that just.
Do you offhand know what like the vaccine rates are and how it is going here
right now? 65. The elderly, the service providers,
right.
Teachers.
Okay.
Starting to move as well, and then just plain mortals like me.
Yeah.
In the end.
Well, I had COVID back in December actually. So.
Oh really?
Yeah. My whole family had it. And we were the lucky ones. I mean, nothing. I mean, we barely got sick at all.
Yeah.
And then my father and my grandmother actually didn't get sick. They tested positive, but then I mean, it's just you never know how you're. I mean, it's all down to genetics, I guess, and how. I mean, I'm sure some of it's taking care of yourself or whatever, but you never know.
Yeah, my mom. I thought she had it.
Yeah.
All the symptoms and everything ended up being something else.
Oh, really?
Yeah, luckily, but I mean, tiredness and heavy breathing and all that, and I was like, Mom. I mean, you gotta go.
Yeah. Yeah.
So luckily, it wasn't. Maybe she had it. Not sure because blood test comes in as positive, and then they do the other test, and it's negative. The one that confirms it.
Well, so they did a blood test, though, which is positive.
On the blood test, but then they did the nose thing, the very uncomfortable one, and that was negative.
Well, no, but so when I had it, I started feeling bad. And so I was like, oh. So I went and got tested. I did the nose thing, and I tested negative. I'm like, okay, I'm fine. And then, like, the next day, I lost my sense of taste and smell. And so I was like, okay, So I went and got tested again, and I tested positive.
One day.
Yeah. Yeah. So, 2 days, actually.
Okay.
2 days. And so, I mean, but they said that it depends on which type of test you take. It's only accurate 80% of the time. Like the antigen one is, like the rapid one, it's only correct 80% of the time. So,
yeah, we do get a lot of false negatives with the blood test.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, because if you had some kind of virus in you, your immune system is active, so it's throwing Like there's something going on, but they can't say it's COVID.
Okay.
So you got to do
could have something else. Okay. Well, you never know. I don't know. It's a strange disease. I'm glad it's. Hopefully, we're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, though. I mean, it's just been.
And the subject comes on in every conversation everybody has. Yeah. So it's part of us, and it's among us.
Well, I mean, like, so I've been here maybe a week and a half now.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, the docks seem really busy, and like, there's plenty of tourist boats going in and out, like the day trips, on the catamarans and stuff.
Yeah, they do have the same restrictions that restaurants have.
Okay.
In some way. And
so like limited capacity.
Right. And if you're the same group, they'll just put you together on that corner, and then the other group together in this corner. And masks when you get in. Sure. No. Well, it was no rafting, but now they allow it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen a few people rafted up. I don't know. That's Puerto Ricans love to party, man. That's.
It was a tough thing for Puerto Ricans to do. Like keep off rafting, no music, trying to stay, all in one side. Yeah. It was really tough.
What is the capacity stuff now? Like restaurants and stuff.
It just went up to 50%.
50%. Okay.
Yeah.
And then I think everything's still closed at 11 p.m. Is that still
12 midnight?
Oh, really? Okay.
Well, 5 a.m. 12 midnight. It's still a good day.
Yeah, nothing good happens after midnight. Well,
right?
That's not true.
You're still going after midnight. You're
well, yeah, but the Puerto Ricans love to party late, though. I noticed that.
Yeah, La Placita, man.
Oh man, yeah, that place goes till what? 4 or 5. Yeah. I've been there. I went to La Placita for the first time last year, right before COVID, I guess, because we had gotten here. That's what we did. We got here, and then we rented a car, and then went into San Juan for like 3 or 4 days, and that's when we had heard about COVID before, but then people were like getting scared of it and stuff like that. So we kind of kept our distance and stayed away from everybody. But
right.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, boom, nothing.
And I heard our Secretary of Health say, "Oh, this is not going to get here because we're not getting international flights from that actual place."
But it was the cruise ship, right? The cruise ship brought it in, right? And then well, when it first happened, I thought it was going to be. I was like, okay, 3 or 4 months of this, we'll be fine. And then
same thing.
We're here a year later, and we're still not. We still got maybe 3 or 4 months, maybe. I don't know, but hopefully it's on its way out. I don't know. But yeah, so that's got to be. I imagine this place when they finally lift all the restrictions and say, okay, we're like herd immunity. Puerto Rico's going to go crazy.
No, in May when they allow the, it was May. Yeah. No, it was the 4th of July, I think.
Oh, really? They allowed people to go out?
They just allowed that weekend, gave Puerto Ricans that weekend, like, you can go out.
Really? Just kind of a free weekend?
Man, that dry stack went crazy.
Everybody
going out. Yeah, the places were...
You okay over there? You need some?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
Still good.
Yeah. No, I imagine. So are you guys... You're busy all the time. How are you guys on a wait list then for like wet slips or what?
Wait list for wet slips, dry stacks.
Oh, for everything.
Trailer boats.
Wow.
Except for tie downs.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of snow bunnies that they just splash back down and then
see you later.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, so the hurricane tie downs are more what? Transient,
right? So like a minimum 4 months,
okay.
And you don't need to do 4 months. It's just required as a minimum, but you can splash down in 2 months if you like.
Yeah, and it was relatively, not too bad. I think the quote. How would you know how much it is like a tie down per foot or whatever offhand? I don't know.
But mine was it's $19.85 storage per foot. $19.85, and then the monohulls, it's $14.33.
So if you got like a 40-foot cat, you're looking at $800 a month, roughly.
Give or take, yeah.
Okay,
and then haul out it's $20. There's 17 the machine, and then $3 of blocking per foot.
Okay, so it's about. So if you got like a 40-foot monohull, you're looking at like you said, it's 14 a month. Or 14?
$14.33.
All right, so you're looking at
you're
looking at $600 plus $600 a month plus $600 to haul out.
Usually less than the slip.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah. And then so that's not bad. And that's why that's one of the things like. The reason I'm basing this boat in Puerto Rico, number one, it was already here, so that's nice. But getting the boat worked on is a lot cheaper here than in the States.
Yeah, and there's a lot of companies that are actually in Puerto Rico that they come from the States, but they have stores here in Puerto Rico, so you can get all the stuff that you can get in the States as well. Sometimes it's difficult for certain engines, certain models.
Like what kind of model?
Italians and all that. Sometimes it's tough to get parts for those. But these guys, they're geniuses.
It's just a time thing. I mean, you can order Amazon here, and it takes, instead of like getting it the next day, it takes 5 days, 6 days. So yeah. So
it's a little bit more time, but definitely doable.
Yeah.
And cheaper, like you say.
I was a little annoyed actually the other day because I'm replacing my anchor chain, which I need to change the gypsy and all that. So I looked online at West Marine, and they said they had 450 feet of the chain I needed. I'm like, sweet, I'm not even worried about it. And I show up at there, and they're like, we don't have that. No, and it still shows they have it in their system. It's just not there.
Did you go out to San Juan?
No, they didn't have it on their. No, I called San Juan, and they only had like 25 feet of it. I'm like, okay, so
yeah, that doesn't work.
No, so I think I'm I don't know. I'm going to St. Thomas in a week or so. So I'll probably maybe have it shipped there because I got to stick around there for a while too. So.
Wait, you coming back?
Yeah. Well, maybe June, something like that. I mean, I haven't.
I just wonder you could get it shipped in here, and we'll keep it for you. But you need it though.
Yeah. Well, I'd like to use it. I may just. I'll probably get on the phone in the next day or two and work on it. But I can have it shipped to St. Thomas too. It's not that bad. And actually, St. Thomas is not bad because it's duty free, so you don't pay tax on it.
Yeah.
So it's not bad.
Act.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I'm having a new dinghy, and I'm actually having that. Well, number one, it's a time restraint. Like they couldn't get it to me by the time I'm ready to leave here.
Highfield?
Yeah, Highfield.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm really happy with it. Anyway, so look them up, Highfield boats. But I'm having it shipped to St. Thomas because, again, no import tax there.
Right.
What is the import tax here? Do you know? It's like 10% or something. 11?
Well, it depends on the value, though.
Okay.
There's like a cap on it.
Okay.
But it's around 10%. Yeah, you're right. Okay.
Yeah, and then a cap up for boats, or is that just in general?
For boats.
Okay.
Yeah, general, not sure.
Yeah, I had my household stuff shipped here, and I don't think they charged me anything on that.
I don't think so.
Okay, so it's just for new, if you imported a car or something, maybe do.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
Same thing with boats.
Yeah.
But it does cap. I mean, if it's $1 million yacht, $10,000.
Yeah. Really?
That's it.
Really?
Something like that. It has a cap.
Okay. Wow.
On the value.
Okay. Well, that's not bad at all then. Mm-hmm. And then you get all the benefits. That's why I'm really. I really like Puerto Rico as a staging point for the Caribbean because it's 3 hours to St. Thomas, and then you keep on going down the island chain. It's not bad.
We actually are talking to a rescue boat. Well, it's not a rescue boat. It's like a missionary boat.
Okay.
So they're based somewhere in not sure if it's the States, but then there's an island that there's about to erupt or there's activity.
Oh yeah, it's down there. Is it Dominica or Guadalupe or something?
I forgot the name, but they're just moving the boat over to us and Puerto Del Rey because they can do 2 missions at the same time from here instead of moving from there to the first mission, and then it would just take him days if that thing erupted.
Yeah. Well, I can't remember which island it is. I mean, somebody leave us in the comments. I'm sure you'll school us on that. But yeah, there is some island. They've evacuated 75% of the island down there. I want to say it's not Martinique or something, but it's like Guadalupe or
yeah. There's a
Dominica.
community right at the edge of it. Mm-hmm. So there's a church, and they're just watching.
And so then that's their plan is if it looks like it's going to erupt, they're sending the boat and then evacuate everybody?
Well, not evacuating, but it's not sure, but it looks like more after the fact. Bring medicine, food, workers, and everybody. Yeah, you don't know when it's going to erupt, so you got to wait. When it happens, it's you start running over it.
If they're still there, geez, if it's bad enough, you're just okay, I don't know. I think, I get it. If you're born and raised somewhere, it'd be hard to leave your home. But if it's looming for it's
a life-changing situation. You got to move and just not come back, leave everything behind.
I know. And then and you got to think about too is that a lot of the people, a lot of the islanders down here, especially, I mean, you know, there's not a whole lot of opportunities, and they don't have a whole lot of money. So, like, for them to actually, get a container and, like, I need to
move from an island
to anywhere else.
Right.
It's going to cost them, I mean, minimum just to move their stuff is going to be $4,000 or $5,000.
Right.
And then they got to find a new place and all that. And then, you know, they don't have that kind of money, you know.
And then where are you moving? I mean,
right.
Is it going to cost you more? That you got to select, and you got time.
Yeah.
You can even do a market research, because you just got to get out of here.
Yeah.
Get out of there.
Well, I couldn't imagine being in that situation. Glad I'm not. Hey, that's why I live in a boat. Hey, if
you can go anywhere.
If this island starts smoking, I'm like, I think I'll go over there now. Right. Get away from this. All I got to watch out for is tsunamis, and if I'm far enough out the water.
Hurricanes.
Yeah, hurricane. Well, that's true. Yeah, you got to watch out for those. So, well, I mean, like, I think Maria was obviously a devastating earthquake, but other than that, I mean, like, Puerto Rico only gets hit by a major hurricane, like, what? Every 30, 40 years or something.
It's been long. It's been long. We got a lot of scares, though.
Yeah.
And hurricanes are a Cat 5 from Hugo.
Yeah.
Was a Cat 4 or Cat 5? Well, it was Cat 4. Mm-hmm. It was a lot smaller, like half the size of Maria.
Yeah.
And they're both Cat 4s.
When Hugo was the one in the 80s, right?
89.
Okay. Yeah, that was the big one here. And then before that was, you know, sometime in the 50s or something, right? Or something. Mm-hmm. Is it like, do you know, I mean, is it like just a geographical thing? Like the hurricanes, because Puerto Rico's a landmass, kind of skirts away, or is it just luck?
I think it's that same thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So, well, and that was the problem with Maria, though, is it like it I mean, it was a strong, it was a 4? Right.
It turned into a 5, but then when it hit, it was actually a 4.
Yeah. But the problem is, it was just so slow moving, right?
Right, and I got boats in the yard they were doing 219 on their the wind gusts.
Oh,
219 miles.
219.
Yeah, 211, 219.
Wow. So how much damage do you guys have here?
Wet slips. We got. I mean, the thing was the power after the fact.
Right.
As they lost power, pumps died, batteries dead.
Oh.
So we lost like 13. And then in the upcoming days, some of the ones that had damage, they weren't sinking at the time, but then with no power,
right,
they just started going down. We tried to save them, but it was.
Yeah, so I didn't think so. Like, so 13 in the initial storm.
Total 20.
Yeah, but
out of 650, give or take.
So 20. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, considering, it was a direct hit here, right?
It was a direct hit.
Like the eye went straight over?
Right.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's crazy. But I mean, like, so I didn't think about that. So, yeah, because most of the island didn't have power for like 2 months, right?
Oh, 2 months?
Well, just most of it. Or, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, that was September. I got power back at home. It was November, right after the Fort Lauderdale boat show.
Okay.
That's when power came back in my house.
So just over 2 months to your house.
Right.
And where do you live?
Carolina.
Okay, so just right there.
Mm-hmm.
Or no, that's just on the east side of San Juan? Or
well, it's you got Rio Grande and then San Juan and right in the middle.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, like a lot of the island was more than a couple
4 or 5 months. The areas in the mountains, no water or power for
long time.
Yeah.
So what about the marina? How long was it without power?
We got it back in January.
Oh, wow.
January 2020.
So more than
2018, yeah.
So more than 4 months.
Right. It was our Christmas party.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and we had generators running.
Wow.
We were still having the party.
Yeah, yeah.
And then all of a sudden everything, we kind of knew that AC was going like backwards.
Okay.
Like what's going on is the phase.
Okay.
When the power came back, phase was...
Oh, it was reversed?
Right.
Okay.
So I was like, what the heck? Exit the elevators.
Oh, no.
They just stopped like dead. Because it was...
Yeah.
And then we knew the power was back. Right there.
Man, so almost 4... So I didn't think about that. Yeah. So a lot of the boats, maybe just had minor damage, right? Or maybe it just... So there's barely leaking, but eventually their bilge pumps, the batteries are going to run low.
Yeah, and then the thing is that, if you're stuck at home, you live like 2 hours from here.
Yeah, you can't come.
You can't come. There's trees in the middle. You got no power. Your car is not running, or you can't get it through here.
Yeah.
And then 3 or 4 days of that.
So when was when were you able to actually come here?
Oh, I was here next day.
Okay,
but already it's like heading out, and I was arriving to the marina.
Okay, so you were able to. The roads were passable at that point.
I left my car back at home, and I got the Marina truck.
Okay.
So I could go
do off-roading.
Yeah, right. A little bit of off-roading if needed.
I was looking at, because I am moving here, and I want to make it my residence and everything, and then but I was looking at maybe buying a truck this summer or something, to just have something to get around. And I was the prices. I was like, man, the cars are expensive here.
Yeah, I mean, mine is like $20,000 less in the U.S.
Yeah. I mean, is it just because of the import and
then the markups or whatever they do?
Because I was looking at 2-year-old trucks, and they were the same price as a brand new one in the States. I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, on cars that's a bad one. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know if we'll see.
Well, buy it second hand.
Yeah,
paid
for sure.
From somebody. The dealerships were.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I don't know. I got to see. I got to work on my Spanish too. That's one thing I'm not. I'm working. I mean, I've been working on it. But part of the hard problem too is that when wearing the masks, I mean, number one, it muffles you.
Yeah.
And I can't.
You're mumbling inside the mask.
And I can't see your lips either. And so it makes it even that much harder to hear. Like I noticed, I was out the other day with some friends. Zach and Greta from the marine lending people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you went out with them. To a short trip.
Yeah.
With Jorge.
Yeah. On the Boston Whaler, with Wally Castro. Yeah. Anyway, so we went out and so she was talking Spanish with somebody, whatever. We were all sitting at a table, and I could actually catch some of the conversation because there weren't any masks on. But it's just plus a hard time to know. You don't even know if these people are talking to you.
And once you get the hang of it,
yeah,
there's nothing more that scares a Puerto Rican that looking like a gringo, and then you go out.
Yeah,
all full Puerto Rican.
There's a YouTuber I occasionally watch some of his videos. He's just your average basic looking white guy, but he speaks Mandarin very fluently.
Yeah.
And so he'll go to Chinatown, and then he'll be and then he can hear them talking about whatever, and then he'll start talking, and then you see the look on their faces. They're like, oh wow,
yeah,
that's crazy. So yeah. No, I need to work on that though. So
you get the hang of it. I mean, 2 months. Mm-hmm. You'll be speaking Spanish.
Well, I think most people around San Juan, pretty much everybody around San Juan speaks English.
Yeah, there's a lot of hotels in there.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of tourists.
Yeah.
So people have gotten accustomed to it. So all the businesses, they have English-speaking people by the counter and to order and whatnot. So that's like you say, they do speak a lot of English in that area.
Well, I really love Puerto Rico. It's a great place. I've been wanting to learn Spanish for a long time. I got a little app I've downloaded and working on that.
What app are you in?
Pimsleur right now.
Okay.
I really like it because it's, I don't know, I'm through lesson 8. I mean, I took it in not elementary, but high school. I mean, because being from Texas,
you forget a lot about it.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, heck, I mean, I just did it just to, I mean, I did the bare minimum to pass. You know what I mean?
Right.
Whatever. I had good grades most of the time, but I didn't try at all. I just kind of wrote.
My school I had. There's great schools. So,
yeah.
My school had it all in English. All the books were in English.
Okay.
Most of the classes they introduced English. You can't speak Spanish in the classroom.
All right.
So that's when you get a hang of it, and
okay.
They make you gotta learn it. Yeah.
So look, most of the people that have their boats here, do they live in Puerto Rico or San Juan, or where do they?
It's really split up.
Okay.
Wet slip, you get a lot. You're mixed.
Okay.
Not locals, but we got French people. We got
that actually live in France.
Yeah, they come and go.
Okay.
Also, they spend 6 months. They leave the boat here. It's based in here.
Right.
But they come in 6 months, 7 months, and go out, enjoy themselves, and then go back home and keep on working. Dry stack, now on the other hand, that's mainly local.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, they're smaller boats. They're more like fishing boats and kind of like weekend party boats, right?
Right. They just lower it, take it up over to the south. Have it there for maybe a month and a half.
Well, I mean, I think that's, so you said it's what, for dry stack, how much did you say it was? How much for say you got a 30-foot Boston whalers? 25-foot Boston whaler.
About 1050 a foot.
1050. So you're looking at $250 a month, $300 a month.
Compare that to Miami.
Oh my gosh, that'd be like 1,500, 2,000 or more.
Right.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So 250, 300 compared to it might be like 2,500 in Miami.
Yeah.
To keep your boat there for a month. That's crazy. And then okay, that's definitely worth it then. So that makes it a lot cheaper to do. Because buying a boat is expensive, but like it's the holding costs. Unless I live on this one, right? So it is my home. So I'm not like paying rent to some home
or added expenses on top of the boat.
Yeah. Well, insurance and slip and all that. So like, if you buy a $50,000 boat, if you're in Miami, that's going to cost you another $5,000 a month. Probably, or something like that, just to hang on to it for insurance and slip and all and maintenance and all that. Whereas down here it'd be 1/5 of that probably.
Yep.
So you're looking at you got a $50,000 center console. You're looking at $250, $300 a month for slip fee. Insurance is another $250 a month or something. So you're looking at less than $1,000 all in to maintain your boat.
Yeah,
that's not bad. That's definitely. Hey, it's actually not a bad idea. If you live in Miami, think about it. You could fly down here for round trip, especially right now, is really cheap.
Yes, sir.
And just keep your boat, and there you go.
Not $40, but I've seen plane tickets for $60 and $70.
Well, Taylor's flying down here Sunday, and hers is a last minute ticket, so and it was one way, so it was not bad. It's like still $230. Whereas so round trip would, I don't know if it would have been round trip, probably would have been $300 or $400, but that's still cheaper than $5,000 a month. Keeping your boat there.
Definitely.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. All right. So, what are some other good reasons? I don't know if I don't want to put you on the spot, but like, why is Puerto Del Rey like? So it's got the concrete docks and all the services and everything. Is it? The benefits of keeping a boat here as opposed to anywhere else, basically.
Well, if you're in the south, basically, if you want to go to the USVI and to the Spanish Virgin Islands and all that, we're about 19 nautical miles.
Yeah, I think it's
from
19.
Vieques.
Yeah. Oh, from Vegas for sure. It's right there.
It's super close. And then if you want to do that, you do have Coffin Island in the south.
Yeah,
but
that's the only one.
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah.
So if you base your boat in the East Coast, Puerto Del Rey, you're close to the USVI, BVI, so you're saving on fuel. You're close to the all the happening islands, and you can enjoy a lot more amenities and obviously get everything done in the same spot.
Yeah.
But the cost is for fuel to move from the south all the way there.
Oh, yeah.
And then if you go through the north, you're going to get hit really bad. So you got to go through the south and do the whole...
Well, that's why I decided against Ponce, was the main thing is it would take 5 hours just to get here. And then, so think about how much fuel I spent on that. And then plus beating into it the whole way. Because it's been really windy lately. It's starting
February and March are like that.
Yeah.
Then April comes in and then it's just not windy but hot.
Is it hot?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
93, 96, 90.
Oh, wow.
Feels like 120.
Yeah, well, okay. I'm from Texas, so like 93, I'm like, oh, that's great, 96, but
that's the and then humidity, man.
Yeah, the humidity, yeah.
93 plus.
But it cools off at night, though. That's the good thing.
Definitely. Yeah, it goes down to 78, 82.
Yeah. I think that was probably in Texas. It'd be 102 during the day, but it'd only cool off to like 90 at night, and you're like,
And then that's on the beaches in the metropolitan area. If you live by Cajay or in the middle of the island,
right,
you're still at 75, maybe 80 during summer.
Yeah.
So that's good. Yeah.
All right. Well, I tell you what, man, I'm looking forward to moving here and making this my home, and I'm glad I'm at Puerto Del Rey, and good to see you again. I wanted to say thanks for coming to the podcast, man. Let's do the little COVID fist bump, and cheers.
Cheers.
All right. Thank you guys for watching. Let's see here. Go to that camera there. Thank you guys for watching. If you're enjoying the show, it's patreon.com/sailingdoodles. And if you're listening, too, I forgot to say if you're listening. So it's available on anywhere you get your podcasts and on YouTube. So thank you guys for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.